Alright, so I went ahead and got this out. I didn't do any filming. This stuff really isn't meant to be a project car. Just vision. It wasn't that bad, except for the CB axles were a pain. But ended up being this motor mount on both cars was shot. The lower mount is shot. This mount was good on this car, but bad on the car I'm keeping. But I did get out. All 3 bolts broke. So this car is pretty much, I mean, it's no good anyways because of all the rust. I mean, I don't plan on selling the car to anybody. I'm just gonna see if anybody wants parts off of it and then junk it. The motor still seems good. It wasn't locked up. It didn't turn over, but I turned the crank. It turned just fine. Everything seems in one piece. No real leaks on this motor. So I'm gonna pull this motor out and keep it and see if I can either put it in that car, probably not, but see if anybody wants it. But I believe that mount on this one's bad too. But I did get out, got the motor strapped up, got it pushed down. But yeah, that's it for this one. Seeing as this thing's so rusty, it's rusty. If you can see that, that's not even a quarter of how bad it is under there. Every bolt was pretty much somewhat seized up, and rust fall in your face and all that. End up having to cut the exhaust off because the exhaust is in the way of one bolt. You can't get, even if you get a wrench in there to break it loose, even it's too tight to really break it loose. You're just going to strip it with the open-end wrench because you can't get the other end on. You couldn't get out because the exhaust was this far away from it. But here's the other car. That's green too. I noticed he tried painting calipers green, and I think he had this car when he was in high school. Then ended up giving it to his dad when he got his truck and wrecked his truck and got this back. See the green. Yeah, this is. I mean, I wouldn't have done this, but if I was, I'd powder coat it, not just paint it. He didn't sand it, didn't primer it, nothing. But for what he knew, he did a good job. He has this on there. I'm not even sure if that's the actual hose underneath there. You just slip down on what that is. But yeah, I got the transmission out. This does have an oil leak. He replaced the front valve cover gasket, but not the rear because it's a pain. So I'm going to replace it once I get the transmission, make sure the transmission works. I'm going to pull the intake off, replace it. On that, it doesn't have any leaks. But I went ahead, both CB axles on this one were bad, leaking. I went ahead and pressure washed everything, the oil leak. As you can see, it's pretty clean now. I got as much of this off as I could, but got all that done. So it's pretty clean under here. It's really not that bad of a thing. There's the other mount, you can see. That one was good, which is weird, being every other thing. I guess they had that replaced before it was wrecked, I don't know. But yeah, so both CB axles on this one are bad. Both lower ball joints can be replaced. But I can't use the CB axle for this side on here. Maybe that side on the other car, I'll have to look, but I end up messing up the threads on this one. So even if the CB axle is good, I won't be able to actually bolt it in. Which I might be able to clean the threads up. I guess I could try. I had to grind them down because I grabbed my regular hammer instead of the rubber mallet, but I had to grind down to beat that out. Might end up changing suspension because that one sits a lot lower. I do like lowered cars, not insanely lowered, but since this is a daily driver, I'm not worried about saying like bagging or anything. Like the Speed 3 I had, that sucker was low. There was no fender gap, but it didn't rub. I mean, yeah, the tire was probably right about like there. It looked clean. If I can find a picture, I'll post it up. But that's about it. I got the transmissions over there and everything. I blew all the water off, so now I'm gonna get a transmission over here and start putting it in, and hopefully that transmission's good. I don't see why it shouldn't be. This one, that transmission was pretty easy to get out except for two of the bolts on the bottom breaking off, which I have to cut off before I can put it back in here. But they're not essential bolts, so I'm not too worried about it. But on this one, every bolt came off smooth. But the torque converter actually, for some reason, stayed on the motor instead of in the trans, so it had to come off. I say this much extra, just a little more than that, just to clear the torque converter. So it was a pain to get out. Unlike that one, just dropped out. Once I got it clear, the transmission and the CV axle boot, I couldn't get off. It stayed on there. Once I got it all cleared out, it came right out. And this one I was smarter and actually drained the fluid before I started pulling CV axles and dropping it down. Unlike the other one, I made a huge mess. But I pressure washed the sidewalk, so it's all good now. Yeah, I'm not really gonna film anything. I'm just trying to get this done. I got today and tomorrow off, but tomorrow's a busy day. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to actually do any work on this. I'm going to try, but depending on how far I get done today. So I'm just trying to get it done today, and I don't have anybody here to hold the camera for me, so I'm just going to jump in. I mean, if anybody has any questions, they can ask and tell them what I did, how I did it, where bolts were, if you're missing one. And it's like, there is a bolt, you see right there. The transmission comes up right here, so it's, and then you got all this. It was a pain to get out. The other car had to actually take the thermostat housing off. This one I didn't. I got lucky. But I mean, if anybody has any questions at all, I got a pretty decent memory. I mean, I might have to relook at the car, but I know what I pulled off, where those stuff goes, and all that. So anybody has any questions, this one is a 03 GTS Eclipse. I think that one's an 01 GT. Yeah, GTS. So I mean, if anybody has any questions at all, or just comments on what could have been done easier for anybody watching it, just post them up and we'll see if this thing runs. Well, I know it runs. We'll see if it moves when I get this one back in there. Alright, so I got everything back together, as you can see. Got everything cleaned up, got fluid out, I got CV axles in. I had to change the inner boots, which I just stole off that car. The only thing I haven't done is put the strut bar on, but I'm off in a couple days, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace the rear valve cover gasket. So I can't drive it anyways, at least very far, so I'm not too worried about it. But everything's done. Now we're gonna see if, I know it'll start, but will it drive? Alright. Get transmission fluid moving. I don't know why I'm doing that to get transmission fluid in, but this shifter kind of sucks. Alright, let's drive. Maybe. Maybe not. That's reverse. Alright, reverse works. Why is drive not working? Might need more fluid. Alright, turns out I just need to adjust the shift linkage out a little bit. It wasn't actually going into drive. I added some more fluid. I still need more, but all I had was 4 quarts, so let's see how this works. Look at this thing. They try to screw it in, but Alright. Now it's not saying it's going into park, so it needs adjusted a little bit. Try that again. Needs a good throttle body clean, top engine clean. Service engine soon. And my boss started without the mass airflow plugged in. Alright. Windows work at least. Not sure if you guys can see it or not. Oh, it worked! Alright, that's all I want to do for now. Need to fix the linkage just a little bit, because obviously it's not really wanting to think it's in park. So got a little more adjustment, but hey, transmission works. It needs a little more fluid, but it works. So kind of all I'm worried about, get me to and from work, and that's all this car's for, so I can save a little bit of gas and work on the RX-8, maybe hopefully do something to this, but mainly the RX-8, at least get the rotary pulled out, fixed, and start driving it and see how good it is on gas. Let her drive this and then save some money to get the LS in it. But yeah, so if you have any questions about what I did, how I did it, I don't remember anything weird. I mean, besides the torque converter being on the actual flywheel and staying on here instead of them bolting together, but I mean, I've seen that before, so just wasn't expecting that on this car. But yeah, I will be changing that mount and this mount, because it does shake pretty bad on that one and this one when you put it in reverse. But yeah, if you have any questions, I will be doing the rear valve cover, so I'll try to record that. But that's it for now. Hope this helped somebody. I mean, I guess it didn't actually help anybody, but I didn't video anything, but hope you enjoyed at least. And I'm not really gonna have too many videos on this, because I'm trying not to do anything to it. It's just to save money. But if I do end up doing anything to it, it's already got a muffler that I didn't put on. But if I do anything to it, I will video it. And besides the transmission, because like I said, it was cold, a little rainy, had no one here to hold the camera, and it just a hassle, a lot of cussing and everything. So but like I said, if you have any questions of you can't find out what you're doing or whatever, just ask and I'll try my best to help out. Camera got a little wet, but yeah, it's raining out, so I'm gonna go get some more fluid, adjust that a little bit. All you do, loosen that bolt, and it needs to go back just a hair, because it's not, see right there, that's all it needed. So I'll adjust it back a hair, but hope you enjoy. Have a good one.